I am Brenda Jean Power Medicine Woman. And this is Medicine Woman Solution. There's always a solution as long as you're aligned to it. Well, a lot of us have to get into align to it. What happens? Well, for me, I woke up with brain activity that was off the charts. I thought, what is it? What is it? Yes, my neck was out of alignment, but so there's not much activity going on up here. I don't know how entertaining I'm going to be. 12:12 is going to be a meditation that I'm going to be doing, and that's Australian time at 12 noon. And what I'll review more when the time comes because my brain's just like plah. But okay, I'm just gonna do it. You've heard of the song, "It's the dawning of the age of Aquarius." Well, guess what? 2021 or 2021. Seriously, Brenda? December 21st. Some long time energy alignment has come into play. Now it feels like the Aquarius age. So I'm going to talk about that. But we are helping to prepare to get into where we are going to be more of a spiritual human. And that means that we're going to be less ego and more of our true identity. Now, some people are going to have some one hell of a road getting to find it. Some of you that are hanging with me have take leaps and bounds and have noticed that you do not have to take the pains in life. So, life setbacks. Life setback. I knew you wouldn't make it. That's a belief system. Take two pains. And there was a game that out there, and I don't remember the name of the game. And it would be that as you take this journey, so today, if you had any negative thoughts, take 3 pains. And these are like little teardrops. And you have to go backwards on your path, which I feel that if I created this game a little bit further, it would be about knowing the types of thinking. What can throw us off? What can throw us in a tizzy? So as I got up, I'm downloading a new healing tool, and it's all the information that's always been on the planet, always has been. And stuff that it's always been known has now being remembered and rearranged and shown to be displayed differently. So I don't know if it's going to go anywhere, but it's called frequency healing. So what's going to happen is we're going to be working with notes, color, and we're going to be using hands-on healing in a different way. So I found that very fascinating that Spirit wants me to help bring in a new type of healing. So part of the Academy, again, this is all in up here, and is that I'm supposed to do part of the Academy is to help you become practitioners, which means there are different levels, but this isn't just here, 2 days work, here's your certificate. Yes, you will be certified, but you have to work for it. You have to qualify for it, which means that it can't be low maintenance now, because that means you have to pass the test through me. Well, I should say them. And I'm going to be, so like if you're doing muscle testing and it takes you months to do, then it's going to take you months to do it. But you have to practice, and then you have to do clinicals, and you have to, so each one of these is that there's a cost, because if you are not going to pay, you're not going to play. If you're not going to be invested in yourself, then you won't get anything out of it. And you will value something more when you want it. It's like, I got to have the answer. I'm willing to pay for it. And it is that urge to which you're looking. Otherwise, you can go, uh-oh, you are set back by your victimization on your present level. Take 2 pains. You can literally allow yourself to go backwards on your path. So the game part would be, here's your path. You roll the dice, move 2, land on, what are you thinking? I'm afraid if I use my mind, I'll lose touch with my heart. Lose 2 pains. Go backwards. Or you decide to go lateral. Yes, I am moving forward. I'll do just enough today to look like I'm doing my path. That's moving sideways. And sometimes moving sideways is good. But at the same time, you have your stinking thinking because you don't know if you're an ego mindset or spiritual mindset. And then you judge yourself instead of use discernment. Oh, I'm not where I should be. My standards are so high, but that's a good thing, right? No, go back to the start. You are set back by your feelings of superiority on a present level. Take 2 pains. You literally can allow yourself to decide if you're moving forward or backwards or sideways. Each of these are an important step, but if you live there, take residency there, if you can't see what you have to see, that's the toughest one. When you're like, what the F? Why? Huh? So, and that is to that, notice if you have shock. You have to learn that life is the way it is. And you don't have to be shocked by it. You can learn to upgrade the way that your spiritual mind thinks, okay? By downloading new information that's happening all the time, but allowing yourself to apply it to the human that you are instead of just being ego and over-identifying with matter. When you allow yourself to listen to spirit speak, and when somebody calls you out of the blue and likes you and wants to talk to you, and you're like, well, I don't know what the fuck, what? You don't have to be shocked. You don't have to be, but at the same time, that'll be the first thing you have to heal. Now, if you're not sure what it is, what's happening, and you don't trust it, I would say you have to heal the fact that you don't trust it or you don't understand it. Those are actually ways that your brain functions. In the meridians, I talk meridian language. When it says I can't cope, that's the heart. When it says I don't know what to do, that's the heart. When it comes to, let's see here. Impending doom, that's the kidney. When you have bad memories of it, it's the kidney. Your energy. And your body talks and speaks to you. It tells you where you got things stored. If anything emotional is there, it is unresolved issues. Okay, how are you going to see them? When life presents it to you, how are you going to respond to that? Well, that's also, if you're on autopilot, if you are awake, then you're like, oh, I'm noticing these emotions. So you're learning to talk to yourself different, ask a better question. And, where are you going? So a lot of energy is shifting. Mother Earth is shifting. A lot of things are changing. So you're getting twanged. And usually I use the word twang when it comes to an emotional twang to a negative state. But like I was telling Amy one time, oh my God, I don't know what you're going through, but I'm going to have to twang the cord. And I says, I'm sorry ahead of a time. Do you remember that? And what was, why? Yeah, did you probably didn't even notice anything, did you?
Oh, that was last weekend.
Okay, well, whether she remembers it or not, there was a whole lot of energy that was just didn't make any sense, and all of a sudden her soul comes crying to me, and I'm like, not with that. And the relationship that her and I have is different than, than I don't know how to explain it. All I know is that I'm sorry. So I had to twang the cord. So it reset itself, and so that she could get back to normal, I could get back to normal and get to the next level. When you get caught up in ego, it makes things dark, it makes things sad, and it makes things miserable. And that is the bad thing, is that we don't know how to cope, handle, and deal and pacify with life, and we just don't. But how many of you wake up every day, it's the same story. Every day it's the same feeling. Every day it's the same old pattern. Every day, if you have depression, every day it's there. And this is where I have watched people. Yes, I have bruises. So if I point it out, yes, I was out there working out in the yard, and I have a tendency just to bruise, which reminds me, oh, I got one here too. I think I need to go take some iron. Now that they sidetracked me. So we have a sensory system. Obviously, you guys know, right? That the sensory system, we can see, we can hear, we can smell, taste, and feel. And so the other night somebody goes, oh my God, my chest is tight, my throat hurts, what's going on? Oh my God. And then all of a sudden they said, can you test me? And I said, oh, sure. Yay. Yeah, okay. Went up there and tested, and the next thing you know, it's first thing Spirit said as soon as I touched them was their sensory overload. Okay. Which one's overloaded first? It was the eyes. And then it was the smell. And then it was the taste. And the interesting part is that it just went through. And then the sensory overload is that the whole body went into reaction. And the last thing that was added to it was thought. That is going to be the one thing that's going to increase and physically affect you more, because we're coming into the age of integration and unity, because we are coming into the Aquarius time. What does that mean? You're going to get faster karma. You're going to actually begin to see the results of 500 and less hertz of your emotions, your thoughts. And so instantaneously, their body went into, okay, they heard something that was said, triggered in their mind, wanted to go investigate. And then everything that was in the perfectly happy space was still happy and still the same, but then it became grinding noise along with the grinding thoughts. And the body then flipped its frequency polarity, causing these beautiful frequency to, the body took a hit. And so all I can say is that it's very, very important that you end up learning healing tools. So they were like, oh my God, my throat hurts, my chest hurts, am I dying? I mean, immediately your body is going into, when you hear those thoughts, usually your body's going into self-preservation. Ah, I'm dying. But this is where you can also do mind over matter. If you understand that what was on your mind mattered to you, even though it shouldn't, like worry and fear, that is unnecessary because you used your imagination in an unhealthy way. And the biggest way is, have you ever just sat there and thought about it? Why did that person talk to me? Why is this happening to me? And then you run all the scenarios in your head that you have to defend yourself, be the superpower, get your power back, and run to the end of the timeline, causing yourself to hurt your own feelings. Running at the end of the timeline, it's set in stone. Oh my God, there's nothing I can do about it. And what happens is that your body is now going to take a hit. It's not true. So you need healing tools. So it's like, okay. So I rubbed only 3 points, and all of a sudden their body stopped going into, I'm dying, to, oh, that feels better. And then their body started to move the energy, and they were feeling better. So you have the ability to heal yourself. You have the ability to choose what path you want to go down. But like, I know Amy had a shock. Somebody said something, and all I can say is that we're not going to say names. Just remember that. But the tone that came across from a person, okay, you're just sitting there and you're breaking bread with these people, and their opinions and everything, did they seem superior when they spoke to you? Were they trying to tell you to put the mask on? Were they trying to tell you that, how dare you? How did they come across to you with their type of thinking? That did it floor you? Any of that?
Well, okay, I was there for at least 20 minutes.
Okay.
And I had doctored my aunt's arm, and then she doesn't have any teeth, so I went out and I started grinding some turkey up for her because she couldn't chew it. And this lady, she a health aide, do you wear a mask? Like, when I'm out in public, yeah, because we're mandated to here in Minnesota. And, well, do you have one? I'm like, really? I've been with this woman for 20 minutes. It takes you this long to actually even say anything? I'm sorry, no, I'm not going to put on an effing mask.
Okay. But you've also been there. Did she ask you how many days you've been there in a row, or is this 20 minutes and you haven't seen her in 2 weeks? You know, how often have you been with this woman?
I was day prior. I was there Thanksgiving Day. I wasn't there Friday. I was there Saturday.
So she's okay. So in her mind, it doesn't matter.
Like 3 days in a row.
So to her, it doesn't matter if you are, like, for instance, she lives alone, you live alone, and you guys canoodle, but talk to each other, communicate, and next thing you know, the woman's this woman is questioning you. I get it. Okay, so here's the thing. Regardless of any of the thing, you were kind of set back by what she said, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, first of all, did you take offense immediately, or did you feel like, how dare you butt your nose in? What was kind of, I'm don't trying to call you out or anything, but I want you to understand that when it comes to thinking, where is it coming from? Why did you respond that way? Did you take offense? Was there a twang? That's what we want. Was there a twang?
It was just like, okay, why? My question in my head, I instantly went to pissed off. I'm not talking. I'm done. As soon as I get done what I need to get done, I'm out of here.
Okay, so she says that was her thing. So it's less than love. And so her soul's asking her, can you heal something? Okay, meaning this is not the first incident of ever feeling and responding, or there's something that the soul wants to heal. So it created this moment to do it. The twang is that when you start to awake, aware, and take action, is you will begin to know what a twang is. Oh shit, I'm losing power. And I'm using my power the wrong, unhealthy way. Understand, here, take 2 pains. You're setting yourself back. That's what that's about. But how often are you asleep that you do it 24/7? Meaning, how often afterwards, out of the 41 thoughts per minute, that I can tell you probably when she was you were in her space, or she was in your space, you thought about it every second. And then you left, and then you come home. Out of that 41 thoughts per minute, did you get even a break from those thoughts?
Not really. I did grab a tool because I knew what I was, that I needed to heal out whatever it was that I needed to heal out.
Okay, she's been with me so long. How come she just doesn't jump there and get happy? Well, it's because it's a program. We have work to do, people. Me too. And so as she became aware, oh fuck, I'm losing power. I'm feeling like shit. Because it's like everything leads to something. And so today it was So she used a healing tool, which calmed down the thoughts. You didn't have them 41 thoughts per minute, and you keep healing until it's not there. So you had to go visit and change the bandage and all this. And even if that other woman's not there, you're going to walk back into a scenario that you haven't had created closure to. So your body walks into the area of where it happened. That means you dumped some energy and marked the point as if to say, I'm leaving breadcrumbs to, I remember this point. When you went back, did you feel and remember? Did it instantaneously smack you in the head? Did it,
Not at first, because, okay, my aunt called me yesterday, and I don't remember about what, but she said something about wearing a mask today, and I'm like, okay. And I explained to her my point of view, and she's like, well, yeah, I don't know why she would, this other woman would do that. And so she's like, don't worry about it. So I didn't wear a mask when I went today, but she hadn't.
Okay. So when we look at this, when somebody wants to save somebody's life, okay, the energy just hit me. All right. You have to also be responsible for every energy you put into the room, leave in the room, and bring with you in the room. So you also have to decide if this is the type of personality you want. One of the personalities I got was that I have to get my point across. It's for your benefit. Okay, you can do it nicely, you can do it meanly, but somebody will brainwash you by taking not just 2 minutes of talking about it, but maybe the full 2 hours that I'm with you. I'm going to talk about the subject because it really concerns me. It really worries me, but it's my worry. But I'm going to tell you, you have to worry, because if you don't worry, something's going to bad happen to you. And then and so what can happen there can be a little brainwashing and a little hypnotic, post-hypnotic suggestions. And I'm going to tell you, please be responsible for how if you're having the anxiety and the panic attack, go take care of it. Because if you are going, like I had when I was taking care of my mother, I was cooking her healthy foods, and the belief system of you should be feeding her this strict diet. And then I'm like, but that strict diet she has issues with, gas, makes her sick. So I'm going to add some more vegetables. I'm going to add some more of this and that because her body needs it. Oh, no, you're not professional, blah, 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 blah. And then the argument, this woman was so angry because I wouldn't do it exactly like her. I said, then move in here and take care of her then. And we lived in a tiny trailer. And one of the things was, she started getting mad at me, and I'm like, aren't you here for her? Well, that's why I'm here. I'm telling you. I said, you haven't even checked on her yet. And the next thing you know, she's going on and on, and then she's screaming, and then she goes, she'll be dead in 30 days anyway. And I'm like, what the fuck does that have anything to do with the fact that we're supposed to help her heal? And in my mind, and my mother died 30 days exactly to the day of when she heard it. I can tell you endless little things. I will walk and trip over something, and it will be somebody's thought, even my own. I was at Target one time, and I'm in the parking lot, and it was right after 9/11 hit, and I walked into somebody's fear. I swear to God, if I was a child, I'd be so petrified because I felt my body slam up against my windshield of my van. My whole body felt all that because I'm a kinesthetic. It made it worse. And the next thing you know, you got to be responsible for the energy you bring into the space. You have this energy that comes off of you, and you can be so scared you can leave. You worried about your carbon footprint? I'd be worried about your emotional print, because have you ever gone into the house and you're like, ooh, something's bad going on in here. You just don't want to be in that space. People say it's ghosts. No, it's a lot of emotional shit that had been dumped and marked and not energetically cleaned up. I've gone into houses where, yep, they had a fight here, they had this here, crying over here. And if you weren't aware of the different levels, you would then, oh, there must be a ghost present. When you go and you sage your house, it's very important that you do that. Energy is emotions, is energy in motion. And sometimes you do that with people. You have people that will own you and mark their territory and make you behave in a certain way, which cuts you off from your friends and zero in on particular maneuvers to say in simple little words, just so you'll cook the supper they just asked you to cook without asking you to cook it, but do it in such a way. There's so many different unique ways that we communicate. One of them is that you aren't even responsible for the way you train people to treat you. Simple one. Amy, come over to my house for supper. Okay, I can't tonight, maybe tomorrow. Amy, come on over for supper. Oh, I can't tonight. I got to go over to my aunt's house. Amy, after a while, I'm going to get tired of listening to her excuses. That I will stop asking because I learned her. But in the meantime, why don't she ever ask me over? What's wrong? What did I do wrong? Doesn't she like me anymore? Now you're also doing brainwashing on yourself. You need to listen to your excuses and reasonings. You need to listen to how you talk. You need to listen that if you're always being passive as while somebody else is being aggressive, you're teaching them to treat you a certain way. All right, we're going to have to look at Deborah Roos because, man, you have broken your wrist. Interesting. So, all I can tell you is that energy is in motion, and sometimes your emotions get affected by the fuel intake. And some of you have heard me talk about fuel intake. I'm crooked today, and it's bothering me here. I have my Christmas scenery up, just so you know. The fuel intake. I've known this for a while. I have begun, and when I start to investigate something, I investigate it, and I really have to, oh, I have, what is this, a feather? That was the weirdest looking thing. If you have a chance, watch Fat Fiction. And Dr. Hyman has been somebody I've been following a long time. JJ Virgin. You want to learn about sugars? Learn from her. You want to learn a lot about the brain? Talk to Dr. Amen. As I started to follow each one of these, you start to follow the pattern of energy, and food is used as a functional medicine. Healthy fats is something that we need to put back in our body. And I remember looking back in the 20s and the 30s at the bodies, and I'd be like, there's not a fat person around. If there was, it was very, very rare. Now you can even go back to the 70s and you will see that nobody is really fat. And the food industry, the farming, agriculture industry, all of these different things, it has been a certain way of thinking and believing, and in how can we market this? How can we do this? But now it is about ethically, we need to begin to look at things differently. So as you learn more about food and what our body needs, again, my shirt is crooked and I don't understand what's happening. It's really bothering me. Okay. Stop, Brenda. Okay. My sensory overload. So here's the thing. When you think of carbs, you may think of only processed food and sugar and flour, but you also have to understand that carbs, you have angel carbs, those are more of your greens. And then you have power carbs, which are like your sweet potatoes and your carrots and your apples. And so there's different forms of listening to carbs, but carbs is what spikes your sugar. You want to be able to help the body maintain overall performance. So it's about how you fuel your body. But people don't realize that even if you're eating healthy, it's still your attitude, your emotions that can interfere with your health. Most people are walking around going, oh my God, I'm dying. But they won't put two and two together. They're thinking the type of food they're eating, the way that they're eating, but their body is always saying, you know what? If you don't have enough fuel intake, which is then the gut brain, will can affect your mood. Your mood is going to affect your thinking, but boils down to you've had an experience, because every emotion that I've seen so far is based on, oh my God, I'm shocked, over-attached, over-identifying. And you have to take a little bit of that life force to keep that feeling and those experiences alive. That even when time passes, you will still have to use the same amount of energy to put there. But when you go into high beta, you use more energy, and then you calm down, and then you have a base energy you keep giving. You eventually get what's called spiritual debt. There's not going to be enough energy in your spiritual tank to keep up with all of the worry, all of the fear, all of the negative thinking, all of the negative emotions. You won't be able to keep up with it. And you have to understand that in spiritual debt creates physical issues. Your body is going to be either in excess or it's going to be less than. And it's going to be battling with support or over controlling or not being able to. Your body actually can reflect how your life is. And so when you listen to the messages from the body, you can make a big difference in your whole life. So you pay attention to the metaphysical meanings, and these are the hidden aspects that we have, that when you begin to notice that there's a correlation to the things that we don't really pay attention to, it'll start making sense. And that's one of the things we want. We want life to make sense. We just want to go back to happiness from that bad experience, but we don't know how. We don't know how. We literally don't know how to sit there and heal and go back. And then after a certain amount of time, you're like, well, I'm not going back. I'm comfortable with my comfort zone the way it is. I finally got everything to semi make sense, even though it's hell, but it's okay. It's my hell. I know this hell. So, Deborah, I'm going to ask you, left wrist or right wrist? Okay. Because a broken wrist is self-undermining. They have a pattern of getting in their own way, of self-denying, of overgiving, and rejection of expectations. Now, remember, when I read these, it's either one, none, or all that can affect. They have an underlying feeling that they really don't deserve the good things in life. Now they have to run into situations where this pattern has resulted in a sharp turn for the worse in their situation. They are subjugated to a great deal of negating, denigrating, and rejection. And usually will happen into the foundation of the past. Oh, good, Deborah. I do highly recommend being Erica. The left wrist is what they refer to as self-distrust. So ask yourself, I distrust myself, yes or no? And if you're only in your head, you're not listening to the full thing. In this moment, I don't feel it. No, I'm talking about in the past. It's an overall feeling. They have a deep concerns about their own motivations and manifestations, and their present situation has greatly intensified the situation. If you have self-distrust, your body is telling you that I don't know how to trust, whether it is your intuition, making a decision. And she says, yes, Deborah, when you're ready, you have to understand you are going through what's called worthless. Now, I'm giving her this now so she can be marked off the list. Okay, Ames? Your triple warmer has been going off, and that's kind of where the break went as far as what meridian was involved in the break. There was a certain amount of timid and shyness. And what that means is you look at, she says, no, not past. When you sit there, you have a foundation, trust me. When you sit there and you look at the past, you're looking at it, the time that you broke your wrist. What were you thinking? What were you doing? What was the circumstances? I had this child, and she felt like she didn't know how to fit in, and her friend, which was being really cocky and making her feel like shit, and she wanted to prove to her that she could kick the ball hard. And she went up there, but she also had a I'll show you, which is a little twist of revenge. And I watched her, and I saw it happen, and she broke her right wrist. Now, you can't say anything to the kid that this is what you saw, but it was inadequate feelings. They were feeling somehow inefficient to the cause in life, and has come to a head. And this is true about her because it was like, I'm the victim. Everybody else is to blame. I'm not going to be responsible for having to be nice. You're supposed to be nice. And I don't trust you. I don't. And there's always that, you think you're better than me? Fine. I'll show you. And so Deborah says, I fell after expressing myself during an argument. Aha. But was it a form of a punishment? Okay, so there's 3 different falls. Tendency have patterns. Now they're showing me this pattern that when I had to self-correct myself, because it was wrong of me to make anybody feel bad, and I would disagree with somebody and they would come at me with a certain energies, that I would turn around and do a self-punishment because they carried the signature like my father. So as soon as you know what, not playing this, whatever, and then all of a sudden I knew that I disagreed with them, and my body's old program, that I would freaking run to a wall, or stub my toe, or drop a knife on my foot, and I'm like, seriously? So we have old patterns that can play out. So she has bullies at work. And the thing is that if you have to see how this goes. So when I say the first fall, according to this, is there was something about hysterical energy. The second fall had to do with being self-centered so that you wouldn't lose your power again. And the third one was worry. So each one of them build upon each other, yes. And each one of them had a set of awkward energy with it. And there was a sort of expectation with it, which caused a certain amount of shame. So it's like, how do you stand up? How do you do this? How do you do that? And the body distrusted. Now, here's an interesting thing. The body's consciousness doesn't have to be what's going on in your head. There's a form of distrust. Your mouth is shooting off and the body's like, this is familiar. So the first time you fell was related to it being 3. The second time you fell was related to when you were 3. And the third time you fell was related to you were 3. So what happened at 3 that caused all this? You are coming up to arrested development that I don't know what to say to them. And I don't want their disapproval. And I know they're going to do it anyway. But no, now I'm out. I'm aged and I'm going to stand up and fight back. And I'm not going to do this anymore. And you have to look at the wounded pride that happened when you got disapproved of when you were 3. And so the point now, as you get older, what you're fighting with is when you were 23, you said, oh, hell no, I'm not going to be manipulated again. But now you're standing true and tall, and it's called a conflict, and you're kicking your own ass. Funny part is somebody has some major ass heartburn and it's burning my throat. And I'm like, what the hell is going on in my throat? And I know that the earth frequency and energy is changed, that I keep getting ungrounded. That can do a lot with it too. So I have to look. Okay, whoever has the heartburn, it's what you do toward yourself. I'm disgusted by my own actions. All right. Oh my God, I'm just going to send the energy out. And if you accept this healing, great. Otherwise, I'm going to twang the freaking cord, just to let you know. So I'm just working on you and me, whoever you are. Oh my God. Oh, for any of those that have issues with heartburn, issues with stuff. See, I don't normally have heartburn. I usually would go into an asthma attack. Oh, this is awful. Oh my God, that pain in my foot. Holy shit, you would swear somebody drove a nail through it. All right, I've got all these. Okay. If you saw this side of the room, you would see what happened at 6:30 this morning was Spirit goes through, hey, Brenda, how about a new healing tool we bring through? What? You got my attention. Next thing you know, I'm going through the small area where I got all my papers, and I have books, and all the other rooms, and papers in the other room. And I'm like, I ain't going to that room. Okay, so I went and destroyed this room. I have got, I need that. I need that. Oh my God. So that side of the room's hidden, thank God. But I'm like, what did I do to my room? In fact, what did I do with my little piece of paper that tells you where to rub? Yeah, okay, there's no reason for it to move because, oh, here it is. It moved. Okay, people, you see between the second and the third toe, you see that little web in there? Rub it. If you feel like stuff energy is running backwards. Now, if you're nauseated, I'll have to give you a different point. Oh my God, whoever you are, I'm just going to throw this energy out there. Because I need to concentrate. Got 4 hours of sleep. I'm half in my body anyway. Woo! Okay, so can smoking bother what? If you're putting poisons in your body or you inhaling, huh?
Heartburn. Can smoking bother heartburn? Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, now the sinuses are draining differently. This is going back down. So the stomach meridian, interesting enough, is saying that it is fighting with the small intestine. Okay, so in the body, the energy of fire will help support earth. It'll give it nutrients. It gives it the ability to grow. The small intestine is part of fire, and it is meant to support. It's yang supports yang. And as it's supposed to be like mother and son, it's meant to support. Okay. In this case, stomach was saying, I ain't taking your shit, man. And even though it's buddies, no, we're not buddies. Fuck you. So the stomach is actually pushing and being very aggressive and becoming the rebel. And the rebel energy from the stomach was pushing. Oh, this is such a cool story. Okay, so I love things like this. Oh, I not to be criticized. Don't you dare criticize me. Oh, wow, I'm overwhelmed because you just criticized me. I can't believe you criticized me. I'm overwhelmed. So now you have the kidney is then, if you understand that the kidney is meant to help control the fire. So the water is meant to control the fire. So you have, instead of the water controlling the fire, you have, oh, no, you don't. And it's being very aggressive, which then takes the fire and cause it into steam. So now you're creating a whole bunch of inflammation inside the body. Wow. You know, I could talk all. I love listening. Never mind. I'm not even gonna go there. So, Deborah, you want to start healing that broken wrist. The best thing you need to do is you got to start noticing, do I have failure? I failed to stand up. I failed to do this. I failed to do that. Do you have failure thinking? Do you sit there and mull over in your mind that, oh, I could have done it better. Oh, I lost power. Oh, I'm disconnected, whatever. But they said, if you would pay attention to how the issue of control, which is you're out of sync. And when you're out of sync, if one's trying to control the other and you're trying to get your power back, but you can't, and you can't get back in sync, then you're going to feel like you're failure. And that energy is not about a failure in a spiritual sense is, I'm not aligned. What can I do to get aligned? Whereas an ego is that you failed, stomp. And it's like, how wrong it. No, you have to fail in order to know the next step. Otherwise, if you didn't fail, you wouldn't move. But at the same time, you have to move your thinking. So when you go to heal this, you really should start to R2D, because what happens is you go into this judgment phase, and this is spleen related. So the spleen is the mother protection, and you don't feel protected. And so then the spleen doesn't give the ability. She says, I'm mad that they're constantly pushing. Okay, so there's a belief. And yes, they can push, but you're still responding. And if you can understand that if mother is not doing her job, or mother's the one that's pushing, or the mother is not stopping something from happening, like if you grew up in a household where the father was being abusive and the mother couldn't make it stop, then it becomes a third party. There's the bystander issue. There's the victim, there's the person that victimizes, and then there's the bystander. And usually the bystander is the one the victim will hate more than the one that's... So going back, the people at work are signature to being your mother, or the issues when you're growing up. And because of that, there's a certain amount of pain. When you go back to that young age at 3, there's a certain amount of pain. You started to already know that you're being manipulated. That becomes your identity. So if this was happening in your household, it's going to happen everywhere until you make it stop. You can't make it stop by going out and going, no, you have to make it stop by stop taking the twangs. Your twang is the very first part of you. You're going to wake up and you're like, oh God, I just less than love. I just lost power. Okay, even though they're fucking bullies and they're pushing me around and I'm sounding like a victim, I don't care. I don't like them. I hate them, blah, blah, blah. And then you write this down on a scale from 0 to 10. I believe this. There's nothing wrong with being emotional. There's nothing wrong with our type of thinking. but it doesn't have to own us. So if you keep doing several rounds of tapping, that's with rolling your eyeballs and humming and counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your body and that takes pictures of everything. That's how the brain communicates. The brain is in the little dark closet. Nothing comes in but those pictures. And if you're feeding the same shit, even though it's a different day, then it's insanity, because you can't solve the problem with the same mind that created it. And then so you begin to tap, you keep changing, and you keep taking your power back. Tap, 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 take your power back. What happens, the emotions calms down, and your thought processing that was and high beta changes, and your power of your energy comes into your body. And then you can start doing scenario work where you end up hurting your own feelings. We can get a handle of this part of who you are. You really can. Okay, you really can. You just have to understand that you are complicated, but you're not. If you take the simple steps, I'm becoming awake. Yeah, just had a bad fight, Okay, and I have to Amy, take my side, damn it. That's minions. And if you start to move out of just ego, it would be, oh my God, Amy, I'm in pain. I can't believe this happened. Okay, I have to heal this. What's going on? I'm not asking her to tell me. I'm asking myself to show me. And as I do this, I can metaphysically start to listen with my gut, and I can listen with my heart, and I can listen with my higher self, to the point I can ask myself, oh crap, I'm losing power. They're showing up as bullies. Apparently I must have lost power to a bully, and an ego would tell me I'm just talking in my head, and I got to fight, and I've got to, I'll try this, and I'll try that. And you're just going to run around like a hamster wheel. You literally need to disrupt these patterns of the chemical peptide of emotions, that is energy and motion, that drives you to think and drives you crazy. You have the power to say, shit, I'm in ego mindset. I'm in hell right now. I'm taking my power back from myself, from my ego. Disrupting the patterns, the emotional chemical peptide, calm down, your thought process, and then went, oh my God, delete, distort, and generalize. I got to find a reason. There, you're the reason. You stop the craziness, which is the energy that has just went into the point of destruction and trying to go into the point of control and trying to go into, and you're so disconnected from your spirit and your heart at this point that the person you thought that you loved, you deeply hate now. And if you let that linger for too long, it will then build an intolerance, and you can only see through the filters. If you're not meant to be together with the person, then you're not meant to be together. But you have unresolved issues, continued stories, and you will constantly see them throughout your life until you go back and begin to notice that the emotion less than love is controlling you. You're bowing down to fear. You are living in the hell state. You're only ego. You have to have ego because it's a lens to see. Anyways, you can heal that. She can go in and start holding R2D. She can go in and do EFT. She can do Wayne Cook balancing, Wayne Cook posture to balance her energies. And if these people that are bullies, she can feel them invading energies, start doing some Celtic weave, baby. Just get it out there, push it out, do some connecting heaven and earth, get your energies back in line, kick their energies out, do some hookup with a big ass smile, and you will start to take control of the energy you bring into the room, because your shields up, baby. Producing those chemical peptides that is going to your body. Because if you're like this, your body's immediately going to start producing those negative hormones, and you won't have oxytocin or serotonin to make you happy. And you don't have those because your body's, hey, she's got her head down. Give her the depression medicine. Okay, but if you then they even prove, well, can't remember where I heard it, whatever, energetically, you put your arms up, smile, head up, look up, your body starts producing a certain amount of hormones that actually causes you to come alive in a happy way. Okay. Well, thank you, Adam. So, you're an empath. Good on you. We all are. But you have to also break down to what that means. And you have tools that help you be responsible for the energy you bring into the room. You can kick the people out of your space. You don't have to have feeders. You don't have to have that kind of life. You can actually change it. And then you can use that curse into a blessing. And then you'll be able to start to read your life. You begin to notice, like some people are very, I am very much kinesthetic. Amy, I don't know what you are, but if you're interesting. You will then, like some people will just be see pictures all the time, or hearing. Oh, the different levels of how we create relationships in that way. You have to change the way that you've been taught, and you have to change that. And as you seek out those answers, like I will get on some of those sites and I will see people talk about empathy in such an interesting way that I'm looking at how an ego mindset is telling a person how to be empathy, but they're doing it in a very negative judgmental stance that causes that to be lost. And it's like, oh, and I'll just like, okay, I can't be in that energy field. I will go, some people don't want to hear it. Some people are staying there. Some people are in their pain. But you all have a choice. And once you understand that you're aligned to it, you're aligned to change it, you're aligned, you have the power to make yourself feel better. You have the knowledge. Knowledge is very important. Okay. Really? So Spirit just shot in my head. I was going to take a moment, start doing expedites. If you paid, understand, you can get expedited, and then those people that are getting free will have to wait. But if you did that, your name would go into a hope chest for a chance to win a 15-minute free read. And if you love, hit the love button and share publicly, and I see it, your name also gets a chance to be in a drawing in a hope chest to win a 30-minute session with me off the air. I'm not talking about it, so don't do it. Oh, okay, I'll say it. So some of you are out there going, oh my God, they're the greatest healer in the world. They put their hands on me and I started to feel amazing. Do you know that you're made of energy? You can put your hands on yourself and you can begin to feel amazing all by yourself. And I'm not talking about down there. I'm talking about just this one. You're bringing the blood back up into your head. You are electromagnetic beings. Okay, this head, not that one. You can allow yourself to understand that I can just rub. Yeah, I'm talking about points on the wrist and other places, not down there. Who in the hell is trying to be dirty? I don't know, but who cares? The whole point is that you are going to set the energy in motion to cause yourself to feel better. This is so dirty in so many ways. If I keep listening to whoever it is that's there, don't let certain people fool you. Maybe they don't know their own gifts, and maybe they do. But I have seen different types of healers. Learned about touch for health. You don't even have to have Reiki. You don't have the reconnection. You don't have to do anything. You're just touching certain points and you are being the conduit. And the body will start to repair itself. It has an innate intelligence. It knows how to repair itself. You sometimes have to get your own ego out of the way. Where was I going with this? Now that I've said it, can you leave me alone? Okay, so we have also, if you brought a friend and you're new and you brought a friend, okay, and Oh, that sounds confusing. Just a minute, I'll get it. If you're new, you get 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
If you have brought a friend and they're new, that new person gets 3 minutes, but you have to verify it with Amy. But that person that brought them, you've come many times, whoever you are, go the hell away. You get your name into a hope chest for a chance to win an 8-minute with me on air. Spirit, you are just too funky. Oh. All right, shields up. Okay. Hey, Amber, April, Tammy, Ellen, LaRonda. I just love saying her name.
I know you do, and I love when you do.
LaRonda. Dun, 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 dun. Anyway, so you have different things. We have a Christmas code. These are little specials that you can do, and you know, if you're on my newsletter, I'm getting ready to send that out. If you're not, hurry up and get into the newsletter, and sign up for it so that you can see little things that get missed when you're on the internet. So we have our drawings. So next Thursday. So Thursday will be the first. Well, will
Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday in the state. But that's when we're going to draw the 3. And I have names built up in here. Woohoo! So does Amy. She's got the other 2. And Christmas is coming. Look at the beauty, little tiny, little, I decorated. That came from Amy. Can you see it? So it came from Minnesota.
Actually, it came from California to Minnesota to Australia.
See, I had a feeling it was from another state. So yeah, it's traveled. It's a well-traveled little dream catcher. Let's see, what else do I got? Just little things. I tried putting lights back there, but it looked like my back thing was on fire. It looks like it's on fire now, but it's not.
And I'm sure I'm too small on the phone. You can't see mine.
I got my mouth hanging over. Yeah, it's too small. I'll have to get you on the big screen to see them. So, well, Spirit, just take the words out of my mouth. Okay. Again, you want to, the tribe. Tomorrow is Tuesday for me, Monday for you, and it will be tribal hour. So usually you get 2 to 3 hours, whatever the mood I'm in or spirit's in. And it's meditation, correct?
Yeah.
So we are,
Because there's 5, I'm not sure.
Well, the last one, that's what I was trying to figure out. Do I want a wild card at the end, or do I want the wild card in the beginning? So you instead of paying for 4 weeks, you get an extra bonus week. And so usually it's meditation, soul coaching, healing tools, and question and answer. So we'll probably throw in another healing, those are the easiest, and those are the things that people need the most of. I trust them, but I don't. But yes, I do. I just don't trust a little communication. They keep saying, "Hey, those classes are coming." Are they? Are they? And now they've thrown on top of it. Here, have a new healing tool too. I'll take that one. I can focus on that one. And then they said, hey, you're going to start in that academy. You're also going to start doing a level that a person wants to start to begin to not just to spiritually wake up and learn little things and take these individual classes that you can take offline, but also you can begin to become a practitioner. And I said, of what? Of what I do. Okay, could you give me a name for it? I mean, honestly, if you give me a name, I have a little bit more direction of Well, you already know all the classes. Still, people can't just say, I'm going to point to that. I want that. I'm not that. What is that? Ugh. What do I put on the certificate? That? Come on. And I know things are on. I'm just bitching as a human. Yeah. Oh, so the newsletter is free. Yep. You can go on the website. Thank you, Gemma. So here we go.